Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Last time I talked about my first love and why I decided to quit the relationship and start travel alone. Okay then, let's go on. Last time we talked about on the way to Dun Huang. It's only 2 hours drive. I saw the sandstorm. It seems to devour everything in sight. Along the ancient road, there's no birds in the sky and no animals on the ground. Such a quiet and dead desert. At the end of the cliff, but there stands world-famous Grottoes, the most magnificent treasure house of Buddhist art, a place where people can wander back for 1,000 years. When we arrive at this bright pearl, the desert miraculously stopped, but the air still filled with fine sands and dust. I had to wrap my head and face in a turban like a Uyghur girl. There are people who thought I'm from Xinjiang. When entering a new village, one should follow their customs. Where is such a slow change? When talk about journey to the west, it's not just the monk Tang Xuanzang, the Monkey King and companies. There is also me. Actually, there is another monk in history. His name is Yuezun. The second year of Jianyuan in Qing Dynasty. That is about as early as during the 16 countries period. Yuezun passed Sanwei Mountain near Dun Huang. He suddenly saw a golden light shining. Seems like 10,000 Buddhas appearing. So he decided to carve Buddhist statues into the rock walls. For respect Buddha and cultivation. That's it. Dun Huang became a Buddhist holy place. Thereafter, Faliang monk and others continued to dig caves here for cultivation. It is called Mogao Grottoes. It means on the highland of the desert. From Beiwei, Xiwei, Beizhou dynasty to Sui and Tang dynasty, with the prosperity of the Silk Road, Mogao is even more prosperous. During Wu Zetian Empire, there are more than 1,000 caves, also called 1,000 Buddha caves. Years later, with the abandonment of the Silk Road, Mogao Grottoes also gradually fade in people's vision. There are 735 caves from Beiwei to Yuan Dynasty in Mogao. It is divided north and south regions. The south district is where monks engage in religious activities. There are 487 caves, all with murals or sculptures. There are 287 caves in the north district. There are only 5 caves have murals or statues. The others are for monks living in or for cultivating in. It's also the place where monks were buried or after death. Number 96 Grottoes is the highest one in Mogao Grottoes. The 9-story tower built by the extension. It is the landmark of the Mogao Grottoes. It is in the middle of the cliff cave. Majestic. The wooden structure of the 9th floor is earthy red color. The appearance and outline are in perfect order. There is bell in each corner, singing in the wind. Well, suddenly I imagined a herb. I loved it. It's called 9-story tower, also called Can't Change with Gold. A very similar and powerful name. Okay, let's get down to the business. Mogao Grottoes are for protect the 35-meter high Maitreya Buddha. It is third largest Buddha just after Leshan Buddha and Rongxian Buddha in China. It has become the symbol of Mogao Grottoes. Among them, the map of number 61 cave, Wutai Mountain, is the largest mural in Mogao Grottoes. 5 cm high, 13 cm long. It depicts the mountain villages around Wutai Mountain in Shanxi province, temples, gardens, and pavilions, etc. Magnificent. The painting of Bodhisattva in Cave 17, the Sutra Cave. The early image of the Kisigaba Bodhisattva is preserved. It was complete in 983 AD. In the 20th century, it was brought back to Paris by Paul Perriot. 1900 AD, there's a Taoist living in Mogao Grottoes. Since Mogao Grottoes abandoned for a long time, Wang did a large-scale cleaning to improve the Taoist temples. He discovered the famous Sutra Cave that shocked the world. Bodhi tree can be found on the inner wall of the Sutra Cave. Exquisite images of God, Buddha, Bodhisattva, and fairies. Most of the unearthed documents are written. Chinese predominate. Others include ancient Tibetan and ancient Sanskrit. Tibetan, Sanskrit, or Uyghur language, Tucharian, etc. The contents of the document are mainly Buddhist sculpture, also Taoist sutras, Confucius classics, novels, historical records, Tibetan dictionaries, social documents, literature letters, etc. Many of them are one of a kind. These are the historian for those study China and Central Asia. Its important historical materials and scientific values. Thus form a Dun Huang school. Wang informed Qing government several times after he found it, but they were ignored, and he wrote to Empress Dowager Cixi. Unfortunately, the government at that time was corrupt. There was no response. After the discovery of Sucha Cave, immediately attracted archaeologists and explorers from all over the world. They bought a lot of precious things from Wang Yuanlu, classics and murals, statues and relics. Murals are transported out of China or scattered among the people. 1907, British archaeologist John Stein was traveling along the ancient Silk Road to Dun Huang. When he heard that the Sucha Cave entrance was found in Mogul Grottoes, he came to Wang Yuanlu. In order to get a good impression from Wang Yuanlu, he lied and said he was a faithful disciple of Xuan Zhang. He came to China to retrieve the sculptures and preach them in the West. To be able to enter the Sucha Cave, he also promised to donate money to Mogul Grottoes to help Wang Yuanlu repair the broken stone house. That's it. Stein just spent 40 silver pieces and successfully entered the Sucha Cave. He took 24 boxes of scrolls from the Sucha Cave and 5 boxes of carefully wrapped silk embroidery. To buy these treasures at such a low price, Stein was ecstatic. In a letter to a friend, he said, "When I look at this carefully, it's priceless from the 40 pieces of silver. This deal is just incredible." At present, all have been donated to the British Museum and some museums in India. It has the largest collection of Dun Huang culture relics in the world. After Stein, French Paul Palio and Japanese Ji Ruicao, the Russians Oldenburg, all went to Mogul Grottoes to steal treasures, almost emptying the whole Sucha Cave. When the American London in 1923 arrived at Dun Huang Mogul Grottoes, looking at the empty cave, he became crazy. He even used chemical melting glue to acquire a large number of murals, the priceless treasures. Someone who swindles treasures or steals tombs as a robber or a liar. Dun Huang Grottoes. It's like the set of a large-scale series shared between God and humans that people wonder for thousands of years. In this series that had been running for 1,600 years, from the emperor to the common people, there is everything. There are more than 9,000 portraits of providers. It forms the largest gallery of people in the world. The historical details cover thousands of years preserved. Musicians can discover something from the paintings of Play the Pipa backward. Search for the shape of the konghou, harp, ruan at the time. The dancer could learn dance from the painting of Wu Liang Shou Jingbian. In the music and dancing part, discover the movement of Huxuan dance, popular in Tang Dynasty. People who study history could look at Zhang Qian. There are recorded images about this matter in this painting of Western region. Architecture can discover the Wutai mountain map. 400 square kilometers of aerial photography, similar to a satellite image. You can see ancient architectural styles and urban planning, agriculture. We can see the extent of farming at the time. All walks of life can find their origins in it, especially those light and pure flying fairies, with elegant clothes, scattering fragrant flowers, and playing fairy music. It has occupied my heart since I was young. I loved to draw various fairies when I was a child. My little friends are asking for my art. Today, flying fairies are reappearing again, still deeply attracted by its charm. The most representative is Cave 282, the 12 flying fairies on the south wall. These 12 flying fairies with double bones, wearing long flowing skirts, with colorful ribbons on their shoulders flying against the wind. They play with drum, clapboard, flute, lucian, pipa, luan string, kongho harp instruments, etc. Rotating with flowers around, drifting in the cloud, flying in the wind, carrying for each other freedom and joy, travel all over space. This reminds me of the divinely inspired performers of recent years. It's also one of the miraculous journey back thousands of years, a stage show for human beings and gods. It's most original and pure performers that I have ever seen. So compassionate and beautiful without any alluring. I think it's the rising divine beauty closest to heaven. It is closest to the divine and flying scene depicted in Mogul Grottoes. As famous German writer and journalist Egon F. Freiheit said, Shen Yun dance should be listed as the world cultural heritage. The flying fairies flew from here to the world. It is the treasure of our nation. That sacred beauty will forever guide us in our way in art. I remember one old sentence that says, an artist is half sane. Looking back in history, we often see artists from different regions paint a circle of light around divinities' heads. Why? They live far apart and don't know each other. Why did they all paint in this way? Did they see this with their third eye? Artists in the past often painted with a pure and pious heart. It might touch the heavenly beings and compel them to give inspiration. Looking up at Michelangelo's art in the Sistine Chapel, you can feel this connection between spirituality and art beaming down from the high ceiling's apex, where God reached out to touch Adam's hand. Okay, that's all for our episode. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you next time.